Hey everyone, and welcome back to Small Engine Edge. Today we're going to talk about the professionals that you really need to be careful about choosing when you're in small engine repair. Repair is not just about fixing mowers and blowers and pieces of equipment. You've got to really be careful who the people you let represent your company are. If you choose wrongly your insurance agent or your banker or your lawyer or your accountant, any one of those can very quickly bring your whole business down. Whether it's financially, whether it's a legal hit, regardless of what it is, those things need to really be carefully chosen. Otherwise, you'll end up in a situation you don't want to be in. I'm going to talk about how to go about choosing those people and what you really need to look for to make sure you make those right decisions with those professionals. I'm also going to go over one of the choices that I made wrong and what that actually cost me by making that wrong choice. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as we go along if you enjoy the content. One of the big ones for all of us is insurance agents. We should all be carrying insurance if we have a small business, no matter what. And cheapening those things up or going with a cut rate insurance company, not having an agent that understands your needs or your field is going to cost you money. You want to make sure that you're covered for each and everything. With us, we do pickup and delivery. If something happens and we're out on the road, which is probably the most likely thing to happen in our business as far as a claim goes, besides workers' comp, if something happens out there and that equipment's not covered, I may have to come $10,000 or $20,000 out of pocket for customers' equipment if I've got a large piece of machinery on there. You do not want to be liable for those things. Say your building burns down or your garage burns down if you're working out of your garage. What happens to those pieces of equipment? Customers are going to come knocking saying, hey, why aren't you covering this? Or why hasn't this been taken care of? It was in your possession when that happened. And if you don't have those insurance coverages that cover the different things that may or may not happen, you're just out that money. That or you're going to be sued, could bring your whole business completely under. Make that choice wisely and make sure that insurance agent comes to your place of business and understands everything that you do so he can guide you into those right policies. That's one thing. We spend a lot of money on insurance every year. And there's a reason for that, though. I like to sleep at night. I like to know that no matter what happens, if an asteroid, meteor, whatever you want to call it, falls out of the sky and hits a mower outside, it's going to be covered. Okay. All of those things, you should be covered in every way, shape, or form. So pick an insurance agent that's been around for a while or one that knows your industry well, one that understands all of the things that you're going to be doing. That will make sure that you're 100% covered, and don't stifle out, don't cheapen out on those things. Get the policy that's a little bit better. Get the coverage that's a little bit better. Make sure that you're covered up to the top dollar amount that you're going to have in your possession. You want your tools covered, right? You want all your stuff covered too. Make sure that those people understand thoroughly your business and make the right decisions with that insurance coverage. Another one of those is going to be with bankers. When you're dealing with a bank, they're in control of your money. I've dealt with a few bad banks before, and we've actually deposited checks that have went through. We've deposited them for $200. They went through for like $2,000. This happened when we were a pretty small company. It was right during the busy season. I wasn't real great at doing my banking, to be quite honest with you. I didn't even notice it was a huge amount over what it was supposed to be. The bank's supposed to take care of that, right? Next thing you know, about, 6 weeks later, it's starting to be slow time. We're starting to kind of make plans with the money and make investments in different areas. Well, guess what? They just debit the $1,800 or whatever it was that they had over deposited, just debited out of the account. No notification, no phone call. Hey, we're doing this. This mistake was made. Nothing. Just disappears. Gone. Like it was never even there, though. There wasn't a deduction. It was actually reversed from the original time. Very strange. Didn't think banks could actually even do that, but it was done to me. And it was funny because my wife actually worked at the bank at the time. She wasn't very happy about it, but they said, hey, well, tough luck. You should have realized that it was deposited in an amount that was over what it was supposed to be. Choose your bank wisely. If you don't, you could end up in one of those situations. And sometimes if you're not keeping track of everything, you may not even know that you've lost money or that things weren't deposited for as much as they should have been at the same time. Take very good care of your banking situation. Make sure you've got a bank that's been around for a long time or a bank that you trust or a smaller bank. Most smaller banks really take care of their customers and can guide you through that. But make sure those reviews are good. Make sure that everybody understands exactly what you're doing and keep track of those deposits and withdrawals. Otherwise, you don't really know where your money's going. People in control of your money are some of the most powerful people because they control everything that you put away. They control your trajectory forward. They control everything. Make sure that you're with a good bank. Those same banking connections are going to make you able to get loans, financing for anything in the future if you need it, lines of credit if you want a credit card, or all of those things go directly into the banking. So choose wisely on that one. And then one of the next big ones is going to be lawyers. If you ever come to the point where you need a lawyer, don't just go down and get your general lawyer, okay? Find somebody who specializes in what you're trying to do. If you're trying to defend yourself against a frivolous claim, find a frivolous claim lawsuit lawyer. Do not just go get your local lawyer that's down at the courthouse. Those lawyers don't do a whole lot for you most times. Those lawyers aren't going to be the ones who are going to be able to best defend because that's not their area. Their area, a lot of those are just criminal lawyers. They're criminal defense attorneys. Their best thing is keeping people out of jail, making sure that they do less time, whatever exactly they do. But it's not frivolous claim lawyer, right? So make sure that you get somebody who's specialized in that area. Make sure that you understand exactly what the specialty is of that attorney, and they can guide you best. And that goes for anything that you need an attorney for. If you're setting up your company, you need somebody to set up contracts, lease agreements, go over those, liability waivers, employee agreements. Those lawyers that specialize in those can guide you and tell you exactly what that lease means, exactly what those agreements mean, and help you fabricate that paperwork in order to best protect yourself. If you're using a general waiver that you've just downloaded online, that's probably not going to give you the best protection. Somebody who specializes in those things can give you the best protections and look over any agreements that you're going to sign quickly, easily, and honestly pretty inexpensive compared to what it's going to cost you on the back end. If you don't choose those right, you could be hit with a lease agreement that you're stuck into for 3 or 4 years with a bunch of things you didn't really know about. Maybe that doesn't work for you because there's something in the lease that says that you can't run that kind of business out of there. You're still stuck into that agreement. You've already signed it. Make sure those lawyers know exactly what you're doing and make sure that you choose the right lawyer depending on what kind of attorney you need. The last one, last but not least, accounting. Okay, this is the one I've had an issue with recently in the past year, quite a bit. It's been a huge one for me. Accountants make sure that all of your money that comes in is accounted for and that it matches up with what's in your books. You need your books to be accurate. If you ever want to get financing or get a loan or further your business at all, you want those to be accurate. I've always had fairly accurate books, but doing it the way the bookkeepers or the accountants wanted me to do it was a little bit different. They wanted a few different things. We recently went from a sole proprietorship to a corporation, which was way different as far as the bookkeeping goes. There's a lot more reporting and there's a lot more legal things that go along with that you have to do. Now, your accountant is going to, or your bookkeeper is going to do that for you. They're going to file those tax filings and take care of all that stuff, along with all the legal and taxes that go along with it. I do all my own stuff. I input everything. I do my own payroll. I do all that for our company. But those things get input into the computer and they have to be matched up to your bank statements, what comes out of your bank every month. I chose the wrong accountant. If you do that, you're going to notice very quickly that numbers are wrong, that things don't add up, and that things are very difficult. My numbers were very wrong for a long time because of it. It was extremely difficult to get everything back on track, and it cost me thousands of dollars by choosing the wrong company. This company has been around since 1987. I was born in 86. Okay, so they've been around as long as I've been alive. The problem was a bunch of other accountants retired. They took on a bunch of work. They took me on as a client and did not have time to tend to my needs. Be very careful when choosing an accountant. Make sure that they know exactly what your field is. If you can find an accountant that's dealt with a bunch of companies like yours before, that's wonderful. I didn't do enough research on it. I thought, hey, they've been in business this long. They're right down the road. They have high reviews. They're highly spoken of. Surely they can take care of me, right? I didn't do enough research. I didn't ask enough questions. And I was stuck in a situation, again, that cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, and sleepless nights because of it. When your books are not straight and you're paying additional taxes because of these things, that really stresses me out anyway. I don't know about you guys, but choose those accountants and bookkeepers very carefully and make sure they understand your needs. Again, with all of these, communication and doing research into these companies are going to save you tons of time and frustration and lots of money. I cannot stress it enough. You need good professionals behind you. Here's the big thing. You can invest in cheap parts and supplies. You can invest in cheap rent. You can cheapen out many places if that's what you're trying to do, but do not cheapen out on professionals that control the livelihood and the future of your business. For this accounting, just for instance, I had to pay a lot more in taxes. My tax planning was not right. My tax payments were not made on time because my books weren't right. It cost me thousands of dollars just in extra tax on those areas. That's not to mention the thousands extra additional on top of that I had to pay somebody else to clean it up. Could I have taken them to court and all that? Yeah, sure. But guess what? It had to be through a mediator. It would have cost me so much money to do that. It wasn't worth doing. And that's why they draft these contracts. Have your lawyer take a look at anything legal that you're going to sign. Make sure it is exactly what you think it's going to be. And you won't get stuck in positions like that. You've got to choose wisely with all of the above named professionals and make sure that they're the right fit for you. If you choose wisely, it's going to save you a lot in the long run, even though that upfront cost may seem like it's pretty pricey. The dollars that you spend on that, although it may seem expensive up front, it's going to be a lot more expensive if you choose the wrong ones. I can guarantee you that much. Hopefully this helps you out if you're trying to build your business, even if you're in the middle of a medium-sized business. Take good care in choosing those people. Make sure that you all know exactly what each one's going to do, and make sure that you're very, very focused on which one you're going to choose. Make sure that you don't choose somebody just based on the cost, but rather the experience and what they're going to bring to the table as far as your business goes. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the content. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.